Hey Kim, comments on week three, the sort of designing a program to sort of fit needs. On the first assignment, the system change, you picked healthcare for children. Certainly a massive issue, healthcare generally, and certainly one that needs to be addressed. I think this is probably too big a problem to address for this post because I was really looking for something that was a sort of a program that would help change a system. Um, and really, you didn't even kind of offer exactly what that program would be, other than sort of, you know, sort of free. I guess it's kind of free healthcare for children, but that raises a whole load of issues about, you know, uh, how it be paid for, how it be implemented, all sorts of things. And I'm really trying to sort of try to get you think about things more concretely for this program. Maybe if you'd have picked something like healthcare in a town, maybe healthcare in a town for children, with a non-profit supported by a hospital or something like that, to try to invest in preventative measures to reduce healthcare needs later downstream. That might have been maybe a better approach. I'm trying to get you to thinking about intervening in social problems, thinking about social problems as a system, where if you change something here, that the incentives and the behaviours sort of change and create a new, better equilibrium. So it's not simply just a question of sort of trying to just trying to do one thing, and then keep doing that one thing. It's actually trying to look for systematic effects that carry on beyond your program. So that's the sort of thing I'm trying to look for. The second assignment was about trying to address this cycle of violence in this Midwestern city. You looked at SAMHSA and found a program there, the ITTM. You spelled out the target group, which was kind of good, 3 to 18-year-olds. You thought about it and you addressed it in a good way. So those are good points. So challenges are, this is a long-term program. If you're doing with 3 to 18-year-olds, this is a long-term program, right? The benefits of this are going to be, in terms of the criminal justice system, are going to be difficult to capture, maybe long-term, maybe not particularly of interest to the mayor or the police at this point. It may be a program that may be better funded through a sort of some kind of community development program, with or through education or whatever. So the problem issue with it is, I think it didn't directly speak to the needs that the mayor was interested, which is kind of, okay, we've got the cycle of violence, which is an immediate issue, and this police community tension. How do we address that? Coming up with a long-term plan, it might be okay, but only if it's really backed up by, well, what's the short-term plan as well? And you did have that one last line about sort of mediation between the police and the gangs, which, it's okay, but that if you're going to take that seriously, or for me to take that seriously, I'd kind of want, okay, well, so how do you intervene that? How do you create a program? And Boston has had a program that was very successful for a while, doing something like that. So I kind of felt that you were you missed a couple of things on that. I was also the other thing you did not address the issue, other than that last line about the issue of kind of, well, what about the police community tension? How do you deal with that? So it's hopefully focused on the one, and most people did. Pretty much everybody did as well, by the way, focus on one or the other, which I will refer to in my notes of this course. You didn't your citations were a bit sloppy, so I'm taking a point off that as well. So point off for lack of rigour. I didn't think you spoke to the goals of the mayor's. Point off for the APA as well, not following the APA guidelines. The third assignment was the non-profit you're looking at for your across the whole course. You picked up pathos about this sort of printing T-shirts. Sort of interesting. It was, I think you acknowledged this in your email to me, it's a bit short, not very detailed. So big questions here to answer. So I'm taking a few points off this, by the way. So I will accept a resubmission of this if you want to address these questions. Why print T-shirts? Why apply for a grant to print T-shirts? Was it purely opportunistic? Oh, here's something we can do. We don't really quite know what it will do or why it will do it. What the benefits are. That's sort of one extreme. Or was it because, oh, here are some real needs that the kids have. It'd be helpful for them if they could learn, work placement skills, maybe business, maybe bring some discipline, sense of feeling productive, creativity. All of those things could be outcomes that the organisation said there is a need for these things. Or they could have said, "Oh, look, we can apply for this. Let's just do it," without really considering the needs and trying to address those needs. And that's really kind of what I'm looking for in this week. Was trying to how do people think about trying to fit a program to a particular set of needs, or do they not? Right? This sort of opportunistic approach to non-profit creation and development is endemic, and it can sometimes work, it sometimes doesn't. I see it fail a lot more times than I see it succeed. I think we become aware of the successes because they make nice stories, but actually there are a lot of times things fail because there's a lack of thought as to kind of how does this program meet needs that we have already identified. So question, why print T-shirts? Why not something else completely different? In terms of a logic model, there are various resources on logic models. If you Google logic model, or even if you look at Wikipedia and theory of change, you'll find very good articles. Or you could go to betterevaluation.org, which is a very good website. Have a look at logic model. Basically, a logic model, you'll find inputs, activities, outputs, and outcomes. Okay, and there's a question about impact as well, which I'll hold off on that for a minute. Inputs. So to Pathos, what is it? It's going to probably be the equipment and the raw materials, T-shirts, and time of the people who are working on it. Those are the inputs, resources. Processes, printing T-shirts, but maybe there's more processes. Marketing T-shirts, selling, physical handover to T-shirts. How does that happen? The outputs are T-shirts that are sold. Right? Very clear output. Outcomes, this is kind of where it gets back to the early discussion. Well, what are the benefits of this? What are the happy customers with a T-shirt? That's one thing, but maybe it's what about the kids? How do they benefit? What are the outcomes that have that actually really? What's the value of doing this for your for Pathos or for Ethos? That's kind of really what it is. It could be about workplace ethic, could be sense of creativity, sense of purpose, work discipline, those sorts of things. That's kind of what the benefit of a logic model is, trying to spell out exactly what those outcomes are and how they relate to the other elements that create to that. Hope that helps. I'll look forward to week 4.